Hi friends, I'm Penny Hunt and this is Penny Heart to Heart, day 45. 45 days of being in my home. 45 days I've made a live video and shared with you. 45 days is a long time. I can't believe we're here, but here we are. Before I start, I've been talking every day about a tip or a technique from my book or an idea that comes to me about this crazy time we're living through. And before I give you the topic I'm going to talk about today, I want to remind you that I'm giving away books. If you would like a copy of my book, all you have to do is in the subject line write, "I'd love your book," and you'll be in this week's drawing. Today, 2 books went out in the mail. I picked 2 winners last week because I had so many people that wrote that in the comment line, and so I thought I'll just pick 2 names and give away 2, so that's what I did. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I think is really important and something that we never think about and many of us don't do well, and that is deep listening. Deep listening. I've said many times that I think one of the reasons this is happening is to get us and the world to slow down. I think we were moving at such a speed, such a fast pace, that it was time for us to slow down and smell the roses a little bit. But what happens when we're moving in such a fast pace is we multitask. We're always doing more than one thing at a time, and especially when it comes to listening. If we are on how many of you at work, if you're on a conference call, you put it on speakerphone and you're doing something else, or you're typing another document? How many of you, when your kids come to tell you something and maybe you're cooking or cleaning or working and you don't stop and look at them to listen to what they're saying, you just listen with this side of your ear and you're still working on whatever it is you're working on. And we do that with our spouses, we do that with our parents, we do that so many times with our friends when they call, and we're always multitasking. When was the last time you actually stopped doing everything and really listened, really made eye contact and listened to what people were saying to you, what someone was saying to you? And this even goes to watching the news or watching a movie. I know I'm guilty. When we go to watch a Netflix movie or something, I'll bring my phone with me and I'm checking Facebook and things while we watch the movie. So how much are we really getting into our mind and our hearts when we're listening that way? I believe, say this all the time, I believe that words have power and words have energy, and when we put them out there into the world and into our home and into our community, the energy of how we feel when we say them goes with them. Words have energy. So if that is true, and I believe it is, why wouldn't we listen in a deep, mindful way when people talk to us? I don't know why we wouldn't. I don't know why we wouldn't, but we're all guilty of that. So I was thinking today that in this time that we have, where we have been forced to slow down in many ways, and even I always say I have great empathy for the people who are working at home and on top of that homeschooling their kids or taking care of others. For many of us, it has slowed us down to a really slow pace. For many people, it has layered a lot of commitments, commitments and responsibilities onto their shoulders. And so they are busier than ever. But even with that, if you're working from home and you're homeschooling your children on top of trying to keep up with your work, what if when your kids came to talk to you, you actually stopped and listened to them? Made eye contact, set knee to knee with somebody, look into their eyes and communicate. What happens when we only half listen is we might receive a message and perceive the message in a different way than it's meant. And I think right now we're all relying on technology so much, and in texting and in emails, and in that technology, the message can get skewed and become misinterpreted, and the receiver doesn't understand what the person who sent the message is saying. They understand it in a different way. So what if we really practiced deep listening? Deep listening. Listen, make eye contact, listen, and then say, I think I heard you say this, and repeat it back to them so that you say back to them what you understand. And if that's not what they meant, they will say, no, this is actually what I meant. And they'll explain it further. What a lesson you would be teaching your kids if you practice this during this slowdown time. And you encourage them to talk to each other. If you have more than one child, talk to each other. I love the telephone game. Remember the telephone game we played when we were kids, and somebody said something and whispered in their ear, and then there was a circle and you'd whisper it in the next person's ear, and by the time it got around, that last person would say what they heard, and many times it wasn't even close to what the first person said. I wrote a blog about this a long time ago because I did this with my grandkids once, and it was hilarious. But it is a great lesson in communication and how we don't listen well. And what comes out at the end of the circle is never, ever what the first person said. And so deep listening is a skill that we can all learn. It's a skill we can practice, and it is a skill we can teach. It is a form of mindfulness that you would never regret learning and practicing, because I will guarantee you that whoever you are deep listening to, they will feel that, and they will understand that you care enough about them to really listen to what they're saying. And right now, maybe there's not a lot to talk about. If you aren't working and you're home and things are pretty quiet and things have slowed down, I noticed that this topic seems to be all surrounded around the virus and when our business is going to open, and it's all that one topic. But what if we had other things to talk about that we could really deep listen to? Wouldn't that be a wonderful way to spend our time right now? And reach out to people maybe that you haven't talked to for a long time. If you haven't talked to a grandparent for a long time, or last week I called my mom's brother, my uncle, who is 86, and had just a hoot of a conversation with him. He was hilarious. Hadn't talked to him for a long time. And halfway through, I was deep listening and realized what an important, funny, meaningful call it was, and I started recording it so I would have it. And I am so glad I did, because I will cherish that little recording of our phone call. So the topic today is deep listening. So go out there and try to find somebody that you can have a conversation with and really listen to them. Really listen to what they're saying and encourage them to listen to you. Remember, in the comment line, I love your book, and you'll be in the drawing for this week's giveaway. Tomorrow will be day 46. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock Mountain Time. I thank you for joining me. I know it takes time and it takes commitment to remember that I'm here. Even if you listen later, I appreciate it. Just make a comment so I know that you saw it, or if it meant something to you. I'm Pennie Hunt. This has been Pennie Heart to Heart. Thanks for watching.